2 weeks in Lisbon. Sandy beaches, the summer sunshine, the tantalizing smell of grilled sardines in the air. I'm a citizen again for 2 whole glorious weeks. Then vacation is over and it's back to Zagreb for my next assignment. I'm a UN peacekeeper. I volunteered because I wanted to end wars and serve the people impacted by them. As my commanding officer briefs me on my next assignment, I realize I'm getting my wish. I'm going to Sarajevo. How to get to Sarajevo? Gotta get to Sarajevo. It was the summer of 1995. The Bosnian Civil War was raging, and Sarajevo was considered the most dangerous theater of operation in the world. When I ask when my flight would be leaving, the officer laughs in my face. A flight to Sarajevo? Forget it, Captain. You better go by car. And where you're going, I'd suggest something with armor. How to get to Sarajevo? It's a long, long way to drive. Better look for signs of landmines if you want to stay alive. You don't make a difference by staying at home. Get some air, breathe it in, let it go. Anybody know how to get to Sarajevo? How to get to Sarajevo? The drive from Zagreb to Sarajevo wouldn't ordinarily be too bad, but avoiding the worst of the war meant I'd have to take a considerable detour. But at least I wouldn't be making the trip alone. I was paired with Captain Rafael Almeida. In my mind, Rafa was a seasoned pro. He'd only done the drive once before, but hey, that's one more than I'd ever done. How to get to Sarajevo? You best stay on your toes. Out where bombs that fall leave marks to call a Sarajevo rose. Look, if it was easy, they'd send someone else. Get some rest, there's a long way to go. Anybody know how to get to Sarajevo? How to get to Sarajevo? So we left Zagreb before dawn. The bombed-out road took us west to the Adriatic and south along the coast. And when we finally turned inland into Bosnia, the mountains began playing tricks on us. Tricks on our hearing. Machine gun could be heard kilometers away or just around the corner. And our headlights weren't working consistently, forcing us to navigate by moonlight. How to get to Sarajevo? Got to get to Sarajevo. Now the only way into Sarajevo was over Mount Igman, the final and most dangerous part of our trip. See, we had to make our way into the city along a narrow mountain road, a cliff-free. One wrong turn can lead you straight into the trench of a rogue militia. Even worse, the mountain offered no protective cover. See, we were a moving target heading straight into a city crawling with snipers. And Rafa told me the Bosniaks had a saying: the Americans have Superman, but we have Igman. As we pointed our car down the steep mountain slope before us, I told him that if I had a choice, I thought I'd take my chances with Superman. It's a long, long way from Lisbon, a long, long way from Rome. You've been to war, but never before have you felt so far from home. It's a long, long way from Paris, from London or Lahore. You say you're fine, but it chills your mind to think of what's in store. You've got a mission. Stick to your mission. How to get to Sarajevo, it's a most peculiar scene, 'cause you barely miss a bullet's kiss when you're jamming out to Queen. You got past Mount Igman, survived in one piece, but it's time to get on with the show. 'Cause by now you know how to get to Sarajevo. How to get to Sarajevo. Now the city had battle markings all over the place. Destroyed homes, mortar impacts on the pavement, ruined military gear all around us. Buildings were disfigured with bullet holes. And the bombed out house to our left wished us, welcome to Sarajevo. When you get to Sarajevo, your work has just begun. The air is thick with ash from burning trash, and the water doesn't run. The city needs a miracle, but where do you start? You say breathe, take one step at a time. I was a military information officer. I wasn't so much a spy as a thermometer. See, my job was to understand what was happening on the ground, to live openly among the population and discover what they felt and saw. Challenge, as I would soon find out, wasn't collecting information, but filtering it, figuring out what was important. And one day, while I was patrolling the streets, I came across these kids playing hide and seek in the ruins of their neighborhood. With snipers in the area, hide and seek was the only game they could safely play outside. And one of the kids stopped the game when he saw me. And he runs up to me, uninhibited, in that way that only a 5-year-old can be. And he asks me. Translating, an older boy calls out. He's asking, how is the war in your country? What a punch to the stomach. To realize that this was the only reality they knew. Years after I left Bosnia, long after the war finally ended, I found myself returning again and again to that day, to those kids playing hide and seek in the ruins of their city, not knowing any other life. And I felt like an information officer all over again. I kept turning the episode over and over in my mind, sure that there was something more important there I hadn't uncovered. And then it occurs to me. See, all these years, I pitied those kids for thinking that war was the natural order of things. But what if? What if they were right? What if war is the rule and peace exception? You see, my work with the UN brought me to conflicts all over the world. I've seen 3 civil wars in 3 different continents. I know firsthand just how easily peace breaks down and how hard it is to build back up. It's easy to think that we're in the clear. These things that you read about could never happen here. But we're not exempt of that, I'm quite sure. One day there's peace, the next day there's war. You can see for yourself. Go on, take a look. Just flip to a random page in any history book. What they should have seen, they chose to ignore. One day there's peace, the next day there's war. It starts with a bluff. It starts with a fold. It starts with political expedience, the certainty a mob could be controlled. It starts with a lie they all cheer. And make no mistake, it could happen here, even here, even now. Don't pin your hopes on horoscopes or heroes to appear, 'cause it's up to us. It's up to us, or it could happen here. Make no mistake, I know we made a difference. Because of our presence in Bosnia, those kids could play outside, even if it was only hide and seek. These days I can't help thinking about the next war. It seems like a stretch, the plot of a play. You know that it happens, sure, but only far away. But we're not unique. It's happened before. One day there's peace, the next day a war. And it makes me wonder if peacekeeping isn't sort of like being a firefighter. You race to the fire, you fight it all night, and just when you finally get a handle on it, you're called away to the next one, and the one after that. And at some point, you start to wonder if war, like fire, is something like a fact of life. Another consequence of human carelessness. It starts with a speech. It starts with lies. It starts with one essential message that you can trust what's right before your eyes. And how does it end? That's not quite so clear. But make no mistake, it could happen here. See, what I wanted to know was, how do you fight the war that hasn't happened yet? That war that no one else can see? And at some point, you realize there's only one thing you can do. You become a messenger. Even here, even now. Don't sit and wait till it's too late, when warning signs appear, 'cause it's up to us. It's up to us, or it will happen here.